We are all born with an ego. Not in the vulgar sense of arrogance, but in the quiet, human need to be seen. It's the hum of self-recognition when someone says our name, the warmth when our work is acknowledged, the ache when we are overlooked. No matter how much we try to deny it, through minimalism, through detachment, through declarations that we don't care what people think, we do care. We always have. The ego is not a flaw. It is a compass. It tells us when we're being heard, when we matter, when we exist not just in our own heads, but in the minds of others. It feeds off reflection, how we are mirrored in someone else's eyes. And art, by its nature, is a mirror we hold up to the world, and a mirror we secretly hope the world holds back to us. We like to imagine the artist as a lone figure, a mystic with a paintbrush, a monk with a pen. But most artists are just people, trying to be known, trying to be understood. Art is how we say, I was here, I felt this. Did you feel it too? Even when we are alone, our minds rehearse an audience. We imagine the reader, the viewer, and the stranger, whom we hope might someday understand. We deny the ego because it embarrasses us. But denial doesn't remove it. It only hides it in the deep corners of ourselves, where it grows quietly, unsupervised. To be human is to want to be acknowledged, to be appreciated, to be valued. And art, in many ways, is our most vulnerable way of asking for exactly that. Let us imagine a scene. The world has ended. Everyone is gone. All your friends, your rivals, your lovers. Every stranger who might have stumbled across your painting in a gallery or your song in an algorithm. You remain all alone. The question is, would you still create? Would you still write poems with no one to read them? Would you still create movies, videos, art? Most of us, if we are honest, would probably not. We might sketch something once, out of habit, hum a melody just to fill the echo, but slowly the desire would dissolve. Because without someone else, without the potential for our art to be witnessed, creating feels like whispering into a void. Not because the void can't reply, but rather because it can't even witness. Art, in many cases, is a conversation. And without a listener, what's the point of even speaking? Art is a form of communication, an offering, a translation of what lives within the artist, translated into a language that can be shared. And maybe that's what we long for most. Not the applause, not fame, just the simple, quiet assurance that someone, somewhere, understood. And yet, there's a different perspective. There are late nights and early mornings, bus rides and park benches, where we open our sketchbooks without an audience, where words pour out without a reader in mind, where hands move without permission from ego nor expectation. A visual artist doodles on the margins of a notebook, not for anyone else, but simply because the act feels good. It scratches an itch in the mind. It turns the chaos of thought into shapes and colours. A composer hums to himself to calm the noise. A writer journals, not for the world, but to put thoughts in order. These are not performances, they are rituals. This kind of art is not made for validation, though it may someday receive it. It is not a gift, nor a product. It is medicine. To create in this way is to return to a state before ambition, to remember why we fell in love with art in the first place. Sometimes, the act of creating itself brings peace. It arranges something inside us. There's a strange comfort in forming something out of nothing. Even if no one sees it, the artist feels lighter, clearer, satisfied. In that sense, the value of art is not always external, because sometimes it's the artist who needs it most. So, which is it then? Are we artists because we crave recognition, or because we are simply drawn to create? Perhaps the answer is both, and something more. Art is a dialogue. It begins alone, in silence. But eventually, it yearns to speak. Yes, we create because it heals us. But we also create because we want to give something to the world. A perspective, a question, a piece of beauty. This does not mean we are begging for praise, but rather, like a good gift giver, we think of the person receiving. We consider their taste, their context. We wrap the thing thoughtfully, not out of desperation, but out of respect. There is something deeply human about this gesture. To the world, here is what I've made for you. I hope it finds you at the right time. And like any gift, part of its magic comes from being received. So maybe the job of an artist is not to create only for themselves, nor only for others, but to stand in the middle, to feel deeply alone, and then to bring that feeling into the light for others to hold. Not to manipulate, not to flatter, but to connect, to offer something honest, something shaped by their own hands and soul. To say, this is what I felt. If you've ever felt it too, maybe now we are less alone. If this video sparked something in you, whether it challenged your mindset, helped you break through mental barriers, or simply reminded you of your deeper purpose, consider subscribing. Here, we explore timeless philosophy, mental discipline, and practical tools for mastering both the mind and body. Every video is designed to help you grow stronger, think deeper, and live with greater intention.